Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter.
Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another episode of Now Review. And as promised, after many long weeks, we're going to finally look at Now That's What I Call Britain, and Now That's What I Call USA. So these are two very nice themed Now albums, obviously one themed after the UK, the home country of Now, and USA, where Now is also incredibly popular. Both of these are UK releases, Britain coming first in 2012 and USA coming in 2013. So, as usual, we're going to take a look at these albums, the tracks that come on them, and we're going to talk a bit about them themselves. So let's start with the one that came first, which is Now That's What I Call Britain. So, this is released in 2012, and sorry about that, there's some sticker damage there from a previous owner. Now, the interesting thing to note about this is it's only 2 CDs. Most of these Now spin-offs that you see here get the 3-disc treatment, not this one. And you've got pictures there of the Queen, the countryside, the Royal Guard, some old house, and telephone boxes, all the things that are quintessentially British. Now, I am aware there's another album called Brit Hits, which came out later. I don't have that one currently, but this one is, I think, harder to find these days, or I struggled to come across it. I came across this in CEX. There's the spine as well. It was £3. And it's partnered with Decca as well, the Decca record label. So here's your track list. There's CD1. Now, CD1 is pretty much a lot of very old, like either orchestral pieces or old songs. So you've got Land of Hope and Glory, Rule Britannia, Abide With Me, Old Lang Syne. You know, a lot of songs you probably know when you listen to them, like all the medleys and stuff. A lot of them are by the likes of the Royal Marines or the Dragon Guards, all that sort of stuff. You have the band of the Coldstream Guards doing the British radio classics, so The Archers, Sailing By, Desert Island Discs and Calling All Workers, so nice one there. And also we have God Save the Queen, the national anthem. Why would it not be on there, of course? So CD1, if you're really into like your orchestral stuff or your old-timey songs, then you'll get a kick out of that. If you're not expecting songs by British artists necessarily. This is songs that represent Britain as a country. CD2, on the other hand, has more songs by artists. So you've got Vera Lynn, so very World War II. You've got Catherine Jenkins, a modern opera singer. Alfie Boe features with the Coldstream Guards, singing Jerusalem, the Military Wives, of course. You know, some more Vera Lynn. You do have some more modern artists like Engelbert Humperdinck, of all people, Cliff Richard, Tom Jones, Elton John, Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Hollies. So you are getting more actual artists here. Dusty Springfield, Petula Clark, Lulu, and the Kinks. So CD2 does have some more like classic songs in a way, and it also has some artists on here. But I think this is a very strange album Now That's What I Call Britain, because as I said, if you're expecting a lot of pop songs, then that's not what you're going to get here. You're actually going to get songs that represent the country as a whole. Let's take a look at the inside. So there is your first CD, all white with blue and red on the title there. And you also have an album for Laura Wright's Glorious album. Laura Wright does feature on this. She actually sings Chariots of Fire on this album, which is really cool. And for anyone who's interested, there is CD2, and there is a lovely picture of the Union Jack. So why, pray tell, was this album released in 2012? Well, it was the Queen's 60th Jubilee, and it was also the year that Britain hosted the London Olympic Games. So 2012 was quite a monumental year for Britain, so to put this out doesn't surprise me. I think it didn't do itself much good by not including more British pop songs, because I think with Now that's what more people are accustomed to. They're not used to Now albums containing classical music or opera or World War II-timey songs, that sort of thing. So while this is quite unique in itself, I'm not surprised that Brit Hits took a more straightforward approach to what Now does. But if you are interested in classical music and songs that represent Britain, then you can pick up Now That's What I Call Britain if you can find it. Now let's move swiftly on to Now That's What I Call Music USA. So of course, this is music from artists from America, and you have lots of the Star Spangled Banner in the background there. It's quite a nice artwork, actually. There is a look at the spine, which of course is adorned in the American colours of red, white and blue, also the colours for Britain. How strange. But yeah, this is a 3-disc release and released in 2013, so it got more of a traditional Now release. And of course, the all-important track list. America's Top Pop Superstars, featuring 27 number ones. Considering there's 60 songs on here, that's not too bad. So, of course, you got a lot of modern songs to be expected, so Bruno Mars, Fun, Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am, LMFAO, Robin Thicke, Maroon 5, Katy Perry. As you can notice here, the majority of songs on Disc 1 at the time of release in 2013 all come from the last 3 or so years. I'm trying to see what the oldest one on there is. Probably Poker Face, which came out early 2009, if I remember right. But a lot of these are quite modern on CD1. CD2 has also some modern songs, as you can see. Alicia Keys, The Killers. You're going a bit further back now. Baby One More Time is, of course, the 90s. Early Christina, Pussycat Dolls, Nas Barkley, stuff like that. So you are starting to get a bit more of a mix. You got Nelly Feet Kelly. We all remember Dilemma. Owl City Fireflies. Remember when that was everywhere? So yeah, disc 2 has more, you're starting to stretch further back, and CD3, Elvis versus JXL, what a song that was. There's a typo there, no capital Y on Bohemian Like You, shame on you now. So you are getting a bit further back. You got Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer, Soulja Boy of all people, Black Eyed Peas again, Charles and Eddie, Tony Braxton, Loonies, Hanson. Yeah, so you go a bit further back here and you finish with everybody from the Backstreet Boys. How novel. So overall, as you can see, this is quite a modern album. So when they say America's top superstars, they really mean of the past, well, when this came out, of the past maybe like 15, 20 years. Disc 1 is all 2009 onwards. This is maybe early 2000s onwards. This stretches into the 90s but doesn't go too much further back. So it's not my favourite track list of all. I wish there was a bit more variety, a bit more decades in there, but it's still a nice, neat little album. Now let's take a look at what's inside. So there's no advertisements on this one for other Nows. You've just got pretty much the cover art without the Now logo, which is odd. But yeah, lots of Star-Spangled Banners, spotlights, all that good American stuff. And there is your disc. There's CD1, which is red, and have a guess. That's right, red, white, and blue for discs 2 and 3. Nice colour scheme, it does fit with the theme, and those are pretty much the discs. So overall, what to say about this one? Well, for me, it was a £5 purchase from CEX. It's still quite readily available, so you shouldn't have too much trouble tracking it down. The tracklist could be a lot more interesting in my opinion, but to be honest, if you just want a collection of American hits from the past, well, what we're in now, 2018, if you want American hits from the past 20 years, a mix of, it's a neat little album in itself. Might be one of those when time goes on, it might have more value to it, who knows, but I just think they could have been a lot more interesting with the track choices, with the song choices, with the artists they picked. They do throw in some one-hit wonders, but really I feel that's just more of the novelty. People like Vanilla Ice, Soulja Boy, etc. And that in a nutshell is Now That's What I Call USA. I will go on to say my favourite track on here. I mean, there's so many, that's the trouble, it's all my eras really. So Backstreet Boys Everybody is a great hit. I did actually quite like, where is it, New Kids on the Block, You Got It The Right Stuff. I'd never really heard that before, and that was quite catchy. Very cheesy for the time, but yeah, I'd probably have to go Everybody by Backstreet Boys. That just always gets me going, really. It's my favourite song on there. I will mention my favourite song on Now Britain, which is actually, where is it? It's Laura Wright's version of Chariots of Fire, Race to the End. So it is like the Vangelis version we all know from the 1981 film, but it actually has lyrics over it. And Laura Wright has a beautiful voice, and it just suits it really well. So if I'd recommend any track, I'd recommend that one. So that is Now Britain, and Now That's What I Call USA. Which album would I pick overall? It's quite different, just probably because it's more unique. I'd probably pick Britain. That's not because I'm British in any way. There's a lot of things about Britain I don't like. But I just think Now USA is sort of your archetypical Now album. Yes, it has the US theme, it's only US artists, but there's so many other Now spin-offs that have essentially the same songs, and you could probably pick those up instead. So Now Britain is more unique in its way. I mean, that's probably why it didn't sell much, because of all the orchestral stuff. But I am interested in checking out Brit Hits. Brit Hits, by the way, is the album you probably want to get if you want more contemporary British hits. And that just about does it for this week's edition of the Now Review. So I'm going to pick, personally, the ones we review next week, so please do check in next week to find out what we will cover. Thank you very much for watching the video. Leave a like, leave your comments, share it around, subscribe, ring that bell, and until the next video, I will see you all next time.
Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Jen Samantha Pringle, Brittany Fan 1999, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry Holt, The Welsh Lady, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, and Cooking at Nans and DIY, our AMTV staff members.